Cathy Kowet. I work here at UPP as a Director of Operations. I've been with UPP for close to 3 months now. So how did I get into UPP? So I think maybe just a bit about my background. I'm from Malawi. My first degree was in civil engineering. So I've done civil engineering and then I've done my master's in construction management and worked in the construction industry for what was Group 5 for, I don't know, 12 years maybe in project management. So as I was working, I think when you start studying, you just generally look at the area that you want to be. When you start working, then you start finding your niche areas or where your passion lies. And I found mine in green building. And it was mainly because I was looking at what, having been exposed to green buildings. So I worked on 3 green buildings and looking at what difference when the Green Building Council, what difference it's trying to do to the industry and how we're responding as an industry. So we'd go on another job that would say it's a green certified job. So we're looking at the type of cement that we have, how we're treating our waste, and it would be perfect. And then we'll go on another job. We won't put that effort because the building is not certified. And then we just go back, to doing the same thing, how we deal with our waste, what material we're using. So it just started becoming interesting, and I'd always ask, why can't we just continue? Because we've learned the best from the other project, we just continue because this is our world, it's our children who are living the world too, and it wasn't there. So I developed interest in green building and decided, how am I going to get this across? And the issue is always about cost. So the company will be like, well, if the client is not asking for it, why should we do the extra mile? Because it's going to cost us more. So the only way that I could go into it was going through academia. So I decided, well, I'm just going to go to the university and do something, and I started doing a PhD in green building. Yeah, so I was doing that for 2 years, and then COVID hits, a lot of things turned around. And I started chatting to Duncan, and Duncan started telling me about where they're going with UPP, about water solutions, about how that is becoming a very critical area now with the issues that we have in water. And then that's how I found myself here, because it was just like our visions were aligned. UPP wants to make a difference where we are, where water, how we treat water, whether it's how we perceive it, how we use it, what do we do with wastewater. And on mine, it was the same. I was like, okay, so that is one aspect of green building. So it's aligned, and then I came on board. Well, so with my background, it's always been male-dominated. When I did my first degree, we were 30 in class, and 2 were girls, and 30 were men, and then it just continues. And then when I was working in construction, usually you just there, and people think you just like some pretty flower on the wall that you can't provide an input, and maybe just being sent around. So when I came into plumbing, I knew that it was just going to go. Just experience the same, like when you come here, or even when I work for a big corporate, I do not remember working with a plumbing subcontractor that had females in it. If anything, the females would be maybe somebody that is looking after stock, and that's about it. So when I come here, and at UPP, our motto is unlocking people's potential. It's empowering, and we're focusing on women. That is just the right place to be, because it's being experienced throughout the engineering sector, and especially in plumbing. Well, before I came, if I had an issue and somebody sent a women plumber, and the first problem was like, I would also have the same, because I haven't been exposed to women actually doing the hard work that is involved in plumbing. So, yeah, I think generally that's what has been the experience. So being here now to say, okay, no, we have to intentionally now empower women, intentionally take women on board, and tell the world that that's what women are capable of in plumbing. It's exciting because it does address that issue of stereotype, of any biases that we have, because women can pretty do anything that they say they want. I think one of my objectives is to just position myself in a place where I can make a difference, because you can work in the corporate for a long time and just have that corner office, but you're not really making a difference to somebody else or to just the world in general. So, like I said, where I've come from with the green building is to make a difference in the water sector. If we can move where the trajectory we're on now, where we are with water, I've seen it with electricity. If I can make a difference there and expose and being able to provide a service to others, that we can harness the water that we have, because we're not going to have it forever. If I can make a difference there and make some moves in bringing the awareness, bringing the service, providing the service, the education in that sector, I think I would have saved my purpose, because I would have taken care of my children's need for future. The world is your oyster, and trade-based industries, if I knew better, I think that's where I would have gone, because it gives me the skill to be able to do it myself. You know, like you could have started your apprenticeship in plumbing, like really doing the hard plumbing. When you finish, you work in that area, but you can literally go anywhere else with what you've studying with. But nobody would take away that skill that you have. Okay, how do I turn a wrench? Nobody would take that away. So you can grow, you can go into, you know, like design of stuff, but you can still go back and put a pipe together. I can't put a pipe together because my background is that, okay, I did the design of it. So to me, I think that's very important. That's what I would advise young girls. Have that trade that nobody can take away from you, and you can fly. You know. Speed at which things happen. So you wake up in the morning and there is not a boring day. So it can go bad, it can go awesome, but there isn't a boring day. So I would not tell you that, okay, when I woke up in the morning, I was going to do 1, 2, and 3, because I suppose it's like working in an emergency ward. Like when you wake up, that's what you have. You've planned the day, and as the day goes by, things are hitting you, and then they cause, okay, somebody has got this emergency, let's attend to it, and you put the other one on hold. How do I balance it up? And when you finish the day, then you breathe, okay, now what have I accomplished? So I think it's just the speed and not getting bored, because the new things every day. You can have a structure, but they're just new things that you just have to deal with. Okay, so in like at UPP we talk about women in plumbing, and you're saying what challenges they have. I can maybe say they're threefold. So first, if you have to convince your parents that this is the route that I want to take, because there could be the stereotype that we're talking about. It could be a cultural thing, like why do you want to go in that field? And then now you have to convince your peers around, because your peers are men. So, okay, so now you have to convince that, and then you have to convince the client that actually I can do that work. So I think about Michelle Obama, because he comes into the White Office, the husband is the first Black president, so all the eyes are on her. So she has to first be comfortable with the role herself, and first to prove others that actually I can do this role, I can make a difference, and I don't have to be vocal about it. So there is sort of quiet leadership in that you know that behind closed doors she's making things happen, but you don't see her actually being on that platform and making that noise, but you know that she's driving. So I've always admired her, because probably I'm not a very vocal person, but you can see who is steering the ship. There's so much that is being done out there to get women. Maybe it will not be 50%, but a lot of organizations, and our business included, they're trying to bring up women to come into the industry. So there's so many opportunities. We've partnered with like Blue Liver, who are really taking the apprentices 50% men, women. We've partnered up with Women in Plumbing, who are trying to just put their message across there and are trying to make a difference in the industry. So the opportunities are endless, and even the government is trying to push that to bring women up. So the opportunities are endless. You just need to put yourself out there and just be ready. So it is exciting because it's an area of opportunity.